Hello there, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day today. I wanted to get on today and share this video with you, which is about repercussions of speaking your truth and how to really heal or move on. And so I just wanted to thank you guys for your support in one of the recent videos I made, which was about why the law of attraction might not be working for you, and how, what energy we actually put out is what we will attract in, not just the tools or the tips that we think were working. And in that video, I gave some pretty vulnerable, I want to say graphic content about my own sexuality and how I saw that showing up there. And so I just wanted to say a big heartfelt thank you to those of you who reached out to me or left comments on that video, just sharing how that resonated and how, you were grateful that I made that, even from some of my conservative friends, which I think is so bomb. So thank you so much. And what's interesting is that not everybody was happy about it. And so that's kind of what I want to make this video about, where like really walking my talk and sharing the power, the strength, the confidence, the humility that can come from when we speak our truth, and what happens when we don't always get the feedback we want. So many times I think, even I say how much when we speak our truth, or you are who you are, we think like fireworks will go off, which they do sometimes, literally and figuratively. But other times, sometimes people don't like it, and sometimes they get mad. And what I found in making that video, how I responded now, after the healing I've done or whatever, like just where I'm at now, is that there can still be a sense of serenity and still be a sense of like wholeness, even when that happens. And that's what I want to share with you, so you have more of a deeper rooted confidence when you speak your truth, wherever that is, whether people like it or not. And that's, to me, the definition of really feeling like you're grounded, like really feeling like you can make a difference, really not caring, because again, sometimes it won't be all happy or whatever. So, by the way, if you've never watched one of my videos, I'm Colleen Coles. And I'm a spiritual mentor just around purpose, intuition, and relationships, and being ourselves in the world. So you can check me out at colleencoles.com for more. All right, so I just want to share. So with that video that I made, it was specifically, some family that reached out, and just blankly, that night, after I made the video, I felt really good about it. I shared what I wanted to share. I put it on different places. And that night I was just watching TV with my dog and my pregnant belly over here. And Michael, my husband, got a phone call, and it was from some of his family, just not understanding, not getting why I would be talking about my sex life, like on social media. You just don't do that. And I want to just be transparent, even while I share this, knowing that they could be watching right now, or you can. I feel my heart kind of closing. I feel that fear in my nervous system speaking up. And yet I'm still going to be speaking, because if I let that stop me, then I'm letting the paradigm that says it's not safe to be who you are kind of win out and get stronger. And so just because we're uncomfortable doesn't mean it's a sign to stop, because otherwise it'll just keep reinforcing that. But it does come up. And so anyway, Michael came to me and just said like, hey, like, what'd you do today? Or like, and I was like, okay. And I noticed a sense of like kind of more immediate, like, but then realizing like, oh yeah, like it's fine. So in the past, I would have totally freaked out. But because I've done this work I've done in my body with my belief structures, getting clear on my truer vision, what difference I want to make, I return to that place rather than the fear. And so I just told him what, the video was about, realizing like, oh yeah, maybe like I should check in with you about this. But this was about my experience and my message from that. And it was just really interesting to me what happened next. Because again, in the past, I would have freaked out. What Michael told me was that a lot of his family, it wasn't just like the person who called, but aunts and uncles and cousins were like all talking about this video the daughter-in-law made. And to my surprise, I actually felt a little bit of a spark from that. I felt like it may be uncomfortable to others who have me or maybe you with certain ways of how you show up in the world in a box or as an identity, and that's a nice little container, right? So like in-law, daughter-in-law might not be doing things like this, and yet that's what is one of my main messages. This is what I do for a living, and it might be challenging that paradigm or that idea they have of who I am. And yet that's their stuff, right? Like I'm just being the fullness of who I am, and yet it's challenging their own identity of who I am or what's appropriate and what's not. And so I kind of felt fascinated by this and really intrigued of like wondering why for them it's uncomfortable. But I noticed a shift, and it was that I didn't have to feel uncomfortable if they felt uncomfortable. I didn't have to own what their experience was because of who I chose to be in a moment or what message I chose to share. And so all of that to say, that's so different from how at least I've been in the past, where I felt always so people-pleasing, like I felt I could never say what I really wanted to say or be who I was. But the price of that is where we don't actually get to make the difference we're here to make, right? Like we don't get to share what's truly on our hearts and help the people through our vulnerability, in whatever way we're there to share, which is why I think it's so bomb to also then hear the messages of people saying, Colleen, that resonated so well. Colleen, the way you spoke about it was really mature, whatever. And so all of that to say, what was another takeaway for me was how, for the healing of us becoming whole and complete, for the healing of us owning our truth and speaking it out, and for the healing of really making a difference in the way that you're here to make, you can do that. Like you can do that in your own backyard, because here's what I also found. Like for me, I felt in that moment, like talking about this with Michael, noticing how much of an uproar it was causing in the family. And to be fair, there's things I could do, like say like, hey, if you have kids around, this is inappropriate, etc. And I, want to respect people. But again, an experience of somebody else, I get curious about, because I'm like, oh, this is your experience, what's going on? This isn't mine. This is your judgment, right? Like this is your stuff. Why is this not okay? Like what's wrong with sex or whatever? Okay, what I realized was that in order to make a difference and heal, we don't need to go across the world. Like in that moment, in that living room that night, I was like, I feel like I'm back in Brazil. And Mike was like, what? And I was like, I just feel like I'm back in Brazil, where when I was in Brazil, I was speaking up. I was telling people what I thought. I was doing what I wanted. Like my yes meant yes, my no meant, and nobody could stop me. And what I found was people would be like, damn, or like super attracted to that, or like I wasn't attached to the outcome of whether they liked it or not. And for a long time, I felt like, wow, that was in Brazil, or like, wow, that was towards those people. I wish I had that back. But what I realized just the other night was how that power is within me. That power is within us. That power is within you. And all it takes is opening up to still speak your truth, even if it's scary, or still do what you really want to do, even if you think it's wrong. And so that's the message I wanted to share this is how we make a difference. This is how we make change. And it's about getting past what's holding you back from doing that to really shine bright. So thank you so much again. And I hope you take with this story, with this message, whatever is meant for you. Yeah, it takes courage to be ourselves, and it takes courage to stand up for that and own it in a serene, grounded way, right? But when we're willing to do that and step across the fire of the fear that our paradigm is telling us it takes, will happen, that's when we can really start to shift more than what is just in our sphere, but actually go help more people or make a stand for change. So if you want more information on how you can do that as well, again, check out my website, colleencoles.com. I have a 6-week accelerator program, which is a hybrid program right now going on. The first module drops July 1, and there are 3 live group calls. There are 3, it's like a hybrid course. So there's 3 group calls, there's 3 one-on-one personal calls, and then there's 6 different modules of content of how in this round to discover your purpose and have that freedom to be yourself. So you can check that out on my website. Again, it's starting on Monday for the first module being dropped. It's gonna be fucking epic. And there's other ways to work too, or dive into my content to see what you need, or just keep being inspired if you are. If not, please leave. Don't waste your time. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great day. And I just want to challenge you to be yourself, to do what you truly desire in your heart, because that is truly when we help everyone else. Lots of love to you. Work from our overflow. Let's go. Let's do this.